Hello and welcome to this digital photography techniques video tutorial. And what we're going to do is probably best explained by actually looking at the very last movie. In the movies, look at the final part and you'll see that we're going to create a chalked carving into the side of the hill, and we're going to create a human face, but in a very stylized way to mimic the style of all the chalk carvings you'll find of white horses on hills in Britain. There's about 8 alone in Wiltshire. There used to be about 13, but some of them have become grown over. And the most famous and the oldest white horse carving in the world is the Uffington white horse in Berkshire. It's in Oxfordshire, but on the Berkshire Downs, and that's about 3,000 years old. So that's got a very easy to mimic style, which we're going to copy. We're going to use a face. So I got the idea of creating this tutorial from a documentary on the Great Western Railway, where there was objection from local people to the railway passing by, and some of the rail workers were tempted to go and deface the white horse on the hill nearby, maybe to turn it into a train, I'm not too sure. But once we've created the face carved into the chalky surface which is underneath the grass here, you can then use the same technique to create any shape or logo in case you want to advertise a company, but the technique will work with anything. So I'm going to take a face that I've got already prepared. Now you may want to take a photograph of yourself to make this more personal. I'm using my hideous visage because I'm easier to get hold of and photograph than getting hold of a model or anything like that. So we're going to take the face from here, and we're going to very loosely cut it out because this is just going to be a guide. It's not going to be a huge great detailed thing, because if you were going to carve a face into a giant chalk down, you wouldn't want to spend a huge amount getting it photorealistic. In fact, you wouldn't be able to, because it's a huge undertaking. These horses can be seen from miles away because they're very, very large structures indeed. Right, let's cut out the face as a guide anyway. Now we're going to use the magnetic lasso tool, because it's the quickest way of getting a face like this. Just click and then start to draw, and the tool will automatically cling to the edge of what you're selecting. That's a brilliant tool. It's almost like magic, isn't it? And I don't worry that it's not 100% accurate, because this is only going to be a guide, this face. We're going to draw over it using the pen tool. So just get it loosely selected. I'm really only interested in the chin and the head, so let's just select these areas here and then click on the first point with the last point to make the selection. It's very rough and ready. If I'll just tidy that up very quickly, I'll go to the quick mask, grab a brush, and then just spray with the brush with white. Right click or control click to make that bigger. There we go, there's a bigger brush head there now, and just spray just to tidy up the selection there. If you make a mistake, press X to swap the white foreground to black, and then you can hide the selection. So I'm just tidying it up. Again, I'm being pretty rough because, again, this is only going to be a guide. We're not going to use this face. We're not going to see it at all in the final version. Press X again just to swap the black to white again. Okay, that'll do fine. Let's just tidy up the hair here by spraying in some black with a quick mask. And then X again, just fill in the ear. Okay, back to standard mode again. There's the face. So we can go and edit and copy that one now. And then click on the background here. Oh, let's get rid of the brush, otherwise we'll start spraying on the background. Move tool will do. There we go. Then edit paste. And that will pop in to a new layer. How horrifying. A giant face on the side of the hill there. Well, let's bring up the layers palette. If you press F7, that's a shortcut to do that. And the first thing we want to do is to make this look a little bit more in perspective. So I'm going to hit Command T or Control T if you're using a PC, and that gives us the free transform tool. Then I can pull this bottom one up like so, just to give it some perspective. Pull the top one down a little bit, hit return, and then press V for the move tool so we can move the face into position like so. Now to fine tune that, I'm going to go Command T again for free transform, and this time I'm going to hold down the Apple key, the Command key, and you can actually then adjust different corners of the free transform tool without moving any of the others. So let's just hold down the Command key and pull like so, and try and get a bit more perspective on the face. Okay, We can distort that even more later if we like, but that's probably going to do for now. If I hit tab, that hides the floating windows, and we can get a sense of our guide face on the side of the hill. Right, tab again to bring up everything else. Now let's create a new layer. Let's just call that one face. We're going to hide that eventually. Let's call this one chalk. This is going to be our chalk carving, and we're going to create it using the pen tool. So what I'll do is I'll break the movie for the moment, and we'll go to part 2, and we'll start drawing over the guide face here with the pen tool. So see you in part 2. Get to this stage if you can, first of all, using your own photo preferably. It'll be less scary, and I'll see you for the next section.